Hello there, and welcome to Pink Milk, your Star Wars podcast for us superfans.
And those of us who are forced to listen to them. Today is someday, and someday we are shooting PooDoo.
PooDoo!
That's right, folks.
It's time to drink up.
Drink up.
Hello there, Pop Pop.
Hello there.
Did you like my Salacious B. Crumb impression?
I think it was fantastic.
Do you know who Salacious B. Crumb is?
Not a clue.
You don't remember that Kowakian monkey lizard hanging out with Jabba the Hutt?
Nope.
Well,
Should I?
I think so.
Okay. All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pink Milk. I am your host, Brian. With me, as always, is my better half and your better host, Thomas.
Hello, hello, hello.
Thank you. How are you?
I am fine. How are you doing?
I'm well. Are you still, dancing around in your head and floating along to the amazingness that is Star Wars Visions?
Of course, I haven't been able to sleep. I haven't been able to think of anything else. There's nothing else that has been important in my life in the last 10 days.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I can't stop thinking about it myself. It's really fantastic.
I know.
Do I talk about it a lot?
No.
Okay.
Of course.
Oh. I thought you were serious for a second.
Me too.
That's all right. I did, I am very fortunate, and I got a little sneak peekity peek of a book.
I know.
Ronin.
You're pretty excited about it. You've been reading it left and right.
It's done. It's great. It's fantastic. In a few weeks, Emma Candone, the writer of said book.
Boom.
They're going to be here with us speaking soon, or with me, let's be honest. And I'm very excited. So just a little sneak peek of some of that. I haven't really posted anything because I've seen a lot of people posting the book, or people they like the cred of I got an advanced copy. I saw the show earlier. And I'm just not really, no tea, no shade to those that do, because some of you I quite adore and you do it. And that's fine. That's just not really my style. I will post my review of the book probably right before it launches in the hopes that maybe it'll help sell the book, because it's really great.
I think that all sounds great.
And we need more queer writers in Star Wars, and so we will do everything we can to help queer creators get a seat at the table. What's your favorite thing that happened to you this week, Pop?
Whew. Well, you were on vacation all week, so that was my favorite thing.
Good answer. That's what I was hoping for.
Unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of work done because you were on vacation, but we had a lot of fun.
We did. We were just talking about it. Tom and I took a nice little bath together. We were relaxing, listened to some chill music and bonding. And we realized that it has been easily 5 years since we've had, extended time, just the two of us hanging out.
To just go out and
go out to lunch and just do all
go to IKEA.
So, quick story. I was in IKEA once, and there was this very old queen who was acting as though IKEA was the creme de la creme. And he was so adorable. He had his little Newsies hat on. He had a jacket on and some slacks. He was probably, I'm going to put him in his 70s. And he little glasses, and he was on his cell phone. And because he was an older gentleman, he had to speak very loudly into the cell phone. And all I remember, and I immediately had to call Tom because I was dying inside and outside laughing with him, not at him, because I will say this, it was adorable. But here was this queen, and he was legit a queen, talking to someone, "Oh, Roger, I'm here at the IKEA shopping."
It's all true, folks. He was still there when he was calling me. You wouldn't believe it. I just heard. It's hilarious.
I think this might be 10 years ago, and I'm still dying over Roger. So, Thomas, here at Pink Milk, in the next few minutes, we're going to be speaking with one of my favorite podcasters and YouTubers, Chris Ryons. Some of you may know him as Lando Calrissian, married to the 7-foot-tall Jawa Irene from the Banthaverse. What do you think, Thomas?
I think it sounds great. Let's drink up.
Let's get on to this fabulous interview. Drink up, everyone.
Drink up.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome back with our friend Chris Ryons from Broaxium, aka the better Donald Glover Lando, as we were just talking about. How are you, my friend?
Doing good, Brian. Thanks for having me, man.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. We've been chit-chatting about this for what feels like 5 years. Probably not really 5 years, probably 5 months, but whatever. We're here now, and I'm very excited. So thank you for dealing with me and my and all of those things. How are you on this fine Sunday morning at the time of this recording?
I'm doing great. A little toothache, but I'm handling well.
There we go. I thank you for being here, and
yeah, no problem.
You can always take that tooth if it needs to come out, and now we can put it on the bottom of a lightsaber, like the Rancor tooth thing, right?
Yeah.
Turn it into something badass.
Yeah.
Aren't those? Wait, you're the comic person. Wasn't that idea from a comic in Night Sisters or something? Do you know?
What, using a Rancor tooth? Yeah, I think so. Oh man, I'd have to.
Okay, I feel like it's the ladies on the Rancors, right? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, was that High Republic Adventures? No. Maybe. Oh man.
Uh-oh. I did this. I was just on a podcast for Holocron Chronicles with Mark and Charlie, who they're fun. And Charlie, when we started it, he was sharing a story about some Prince Shizor like trophy thing. I was a little lost what they were talking about. Some trivia thing, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So I made a joke about, well, I'm smelling something, and if y'all ask me to do anything, like, I think I'm probably going to do it. And I got the look you're giving me right now. Like, does no one remember Prince Shizor and his pheromones? Yes. Yeah. I was like, I started the podcast with a really bad joke that didn't land. And 2 times in a row, it's time to leave the joke behind, Brian. It's time to leave the joke behind. All right. Chris.
Yeah.
Who are you? Who is Chris Ryons? Who's the man behind the cape, behind the stash that usually stays on but sometimes falls off too?
That stash is the MVP. I've got spirit gum to put that thing on, but we, like my roommate and I, like, because we're both filmmakers, so we have all these, like, the makeup and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So we when we put it on, the first time I did it, I forgot to shave, and then I had to just shave my mustache afterwards because all that stuff was just in the mustache. But I make sure that it's secure for a little bit of the mustache, and I make sure that it's still coming off or whatnot, because that's just part of the character now. It's just always having to fix the mustache. But yes,
it's so funny. It's so funny. We just had Matt and Sean on the live stream, this very last live stream. So if you are listening to this, make sure you listen to that. Who they just like showed nothing but pure love for you. It was such a wonderful little thing to feel, and it's true. And Donald Glover gets a lot of credit, but I don't think he does it as well as you do. I really don't.
Well, I mean, Troy does his own. I call Troy from Community, but he does his own, version of Lando. Yeah, and and like his voice and mine is like it's almost the same. So I was like that's not really doing an impression if I do Donald Glover's Lando. But doing Billy D, that takes a little effort. And I've always been, and I'm not one to pat myself on the back or anything like that. But I've always been good doing some voices and whatnot.
Mhm.
Just throughout my life, I've always been a performer and actor, that sort of thing. So, I started doing Lando's voice. That cape is my boss's cape. Because he did
Seriously?
he did the Lando cosplay. I'm like, yo, Daryl, let me borrow that real quick. So we're at the shop and I put it on, and then I got on my did a little promotion for Broaxium on my phone, and that was my first time ever doing a Lando voice, and I was like, people are like, oh, you sound just like him. I'm like, really? I just So now, like, I've done stuff with Star Wars audio comics for their. They did a production of Charles Soule's Lando comic run, so I did the voice, for that. A couple other projects with them, and of course, doing Lando for Blue Bantha Milk is have to put it out there. So I've like tried to work on the voice, so I make sure that I'm capturing Billy D as best I can, and hopefully, if he ever sees it, he doesn't like, who's this idiot?
No, he's gonna be. That's a much younger and more handsome looking me. This is. Here we go. I think that's so awesome. Like I get so nervous. I'm always so envious of people who can like go and do that. It's such a brave thing to put yourself out there like that. For me, like, and I'd always sound so hypocritical having a podcast and a live stream that I talk about how shy I am, but like to me, it's my house. So like here, I'm like, I'm in my own office, so I'm like totally comfortable, right? Yeah. But the minute is for somebody else or outside, I just like, oh God, I can't. I get so nervous and I'm in my head way too much. And I'm telling you, I'm really envious because I think it's a lot hard. Doesn't everybody know how hard it is? I hope everybody knows how hard it is, but it's really hard and you knock it out of the park every time.
And I'd say I am the shyest person you'll meet. And sometimes sometimes I can just block it out and just go forward and just do the performance.
Yeah.
But it like afterwards I'm like, even before, even like during, like when we did the last Cal Racing Chronicles, there were some things that I had to say, and like I don't read them until we're shooting. So they want to get like my initial reactions, like my raw reactions. And when I had to say some things, I was like, oh man, my mom's gonna see this. Oh boy. But I mean, it's funny. And I don't like, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to turn into a meme. Like that's like my like, oh, please don't make me turn into a meme. Oh.
So you can tell you're probably of a different generation than say someone like my son, whose response would be, please make me a meme. Please make me a meme.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no. Then I know Matt and Sean made T-shirts from a particular line that I said that I cracked up on, and and they made a shirt. I was like, oh no, it's that, and then Jackson, that jerk, put out this one little video thing he put out there of like another line that I said that I was like, oh, my mom's gonna see this. Oh no.
You just sold me on certain reasons, especially with my mouth sometimes on After Dark in particular, that maybe having a less than supportive mother, there's a benefit here because I don't really need to worry about her ever seeing anything that I'm doing.
Oh, wow.
So thank you for that. That was just changed my perspective on some things. That's fantastic. So
I give my mom the link and I'm like, all right, just like it's not like she's like how could you say that? Please, this woman was the first person to show me 48 hours. I was like 8 that came out.
Yeah.
But I was like, just know that I'm going to say a few things that are going to be a little stupid. And she's like, why? I'm like, what's she's like, there's no difference. You say stupid shit all the time. I'm like,
oh, I like your mom. I need to meet this person. So, question for you. Why Star Wars? Why Star Wars?
Well, this is something I say all the time. I was born in 75. So I was pretty much baked into it from the beginning. There was no choice. It was just Star Wars is part of my DNA. It's just how it is. I've been, teased in school for being a fan of Star Wars after everything's come out, that sort of thing. It's just been a part of my life. There's that's just how it is. It's just baked into my DNA.
I'm with you. Like, we're similar in age, so we grew up with all of these things together, right? Mm-hmm. And they always call it the dark times when there was nothing. I'm like, I don't understand. I still had them on VHS. I watched them as though they were just out. There was never any dark times. Not for me.
It was a long 16 years before we got to Phantom Menace, or like maybe 13 or so when you think of the special editions. But there wasn't much. Maybe we had the Droids cartoon, which I loved. The Droids cartoon, loved it. The Ewok cartoon, not so much. But I tried. Granted, I did eat my fair share of C-3PO cereal. We had that.
Very nice.
Cereal. We had the 2 cartoons. We had the Marvel comics for a bit, like some of the Marvel Star Wars run. Figures kept coming out, so that definitely helped. Star Tours we had.
Yeah. I've never been to Star Tours.
Oh man, it was the only reason I went to Disney World. It was the only reason. Like my family was like, "Yo, we're going to Disney World," because I was like, "I have to go. I have to see this." So luckily, my mom was able to make that happen.
That's
twice. Right. I spent so much. I went to Star Tours, and I had like a set amount of money for the week. I spent it all on the first day we went to Star Tours. I spent it all in that. I was broke after that. I just spent it all. Right there in the gift shop for Star Tours. I didn't care about anything else in Disney World. I didn't. I just wanted to go to Star Tours. But it's the dark times compared to what we have now. And now it is. This is like outside of everything going on in the world. This is dream world for me as far as Star Wars content goes. This is stuff I wanted as a kid.
Yes,
it's coming at you from every direction, every medium. Love it.
100%. And like, I agree with everything. Maybe as we're talking about dark times, there may have been one dark time, and that was the release of when the rumors of Toy Fair magazine, long before the internet, there was going to be a new Star Wars toy line. We're like, what? And I just remember losing my collective everything. I'm scouring the racks at Target every single day. Finally come upon them. The Bentams. This? That's what I was waiting for. Did I buy every single one? Did I buy 2 to keep one on the card and one out of it? Of course I did. But was I disappointed? Right. Of course I was.
But it had the Star Wars logo on it. That means
sure
did. I have to have it. It's right there. I have to have it.
It's the truth. Yeah. Yeah, but like right now, Star Wars Visions has pumped me with so much joy for Star Wars. Like, I mean, I love all of it. I always have. But there's something about Visions that I love so much. And I am really I'm grateful for the first time that George isn't a part of Star Wars, because I know George loves all of these things, but I don't think this would have happened if he was still a part of it. And I feel kind of guilty for saying that because, he's the maker and he's wonderful and perfect, but it's so good. Like, it is.
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite Star Wars to come out since the prequels. Like, I love it.
It's the creative freedom that these animation studios had, to do this has been amazing. I would have loved to have had maybe a couple of non-Jedi lightsaber stories, but maybe if they do a second run, of these, we'll get that. But I was blown away by every single one of them. Each one had something, uniquely different in each one. So none of them felt, like it was a run of the mill anime or anything like that. It was I loved it. The twins probably sticks out the most for me.
Okay.
As a story that if they ever were to do a Star Wars multiverse, that is a world that I want to see fleshed out big time.
It felt very 80s cartoons.
Yes, very much. Very much. I was still, as I watched it, I was like, how are they breathing in space? And I'm like, stop, just watch it in the chair. And
but the droid needed the helmet. The droid
right,
the fishbowl.
The droid wasn't born on the dark side. Those two were, so they can breathe in space. I think that's how that goes. I think them's are the rules.
So good, so good. So you are also, and you mentioned the Marvel comics from the 80s. And I am looking at a wall full of comics behind you now, just like I do every week when you are on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
What is it about comics in general, and then more specifically, comics in Star Wars? Like, what is it that's feeding you that you invest that much in, like, time into it?
It's these stories. Like I've said it before, and it's sort of a hot take, and some people look at me funny when I say it, but sometimes these stories are better than the movies that we've gotten. Original trilogy included. It's just it's also there's a little bit more of that creative freedom, with using different characters and having them interact with these legendary characters that we already know. That helps to acclimate any of that new stuff that we've been getting over the past few years into what we already know, and it makes it natural. And so these comics, they've been great. They've been great. They're able to really dig into the psyche of the characters more. We get to see more of this universe fleshed out. Like in the last issue that came out this past week, Star Wars number 17 from Charles Soule. It was probably the best character driven issue I've read for Star Wars in period. And Soule just said that he responded to a tweet that I put out, and said that the next few issues are going to be very much like that, and I think that's great. So many different storytelling ideas and art styles and visions of what Star Wars is. Dr. Aphra, for one thing, it has been an amazing story that takes it's like an amoral Indiana Jones in the Star Wars universe, and you get to see like the archaeological side of things, and lesser known history or unknown histories that that we've never known about Star Wars, and it just makes everything bigger than just lightsabers, Star Destroyers, Stormtroopers, Darth Vader, blah 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 blah. Just the stuff we already know. I just love that we get to see more of it, just more of this universe fleshed out, and it just makes for more stories out there.
I think it's I love it. Like, I keep up to date with Broaxium in your one shots, your videos,
quick shots, dude.
Quick shots. Because like I'm a really big comic fan, and for some reason I've never married those two worlds. I've read a few Star Wars comics here or there, and I love listening to you explain all that because I always get so stoked on it. And I'm looking forward to like the High Republic. The trade paperback came out not too long ago, right? For the first, 10 issues or something, probably.
I think it's the first 5 issues, 5 or 6 issues. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that because the High Republic's amazing, anyways, and give me more of that anytime. I don't like it's. I am a horrible fan like that. I am a horrible fan of like I keep everything in their boxes, and I don't like to cross pollinate. I hopefully aren't growing neck hairs right now and becoming a neckbeard with statements like that. But like G.I. Joe for me, because I know you're a pretty big G.I. Joe fan too, right? Absolutely. Is the one thing that I like the cartoons and the comics. And I was really young and I kind of loved that the comics were so radically different than the cartoons. Like, oh, you can have 2 of these things? This is amazing. And they had nothing to do with one another, like at all. Completely different characters. All of it.
It was great. It's like that and Transformers were so different in the comics than they were in the in the animated series.
Why I didn't want to do that with Star Wars? No idea. Should have a long time ago. Should do it now, but I'm not. I don't know why.
Well, it's a little bit easier now with the comics because everything is canon and flows together, and But those Star Wars comics from back in the day were so so different than what we know of the movies and everything. And
Yep.
they were kind of weird, but they were awesome in their own way.
Yeah, they were just
them.
bombastic and ridiculous, and like I love my Star Wars that way. Like I get that we can't do that in every movie, but like we do in a different sort of way. Like the Rancor is bombastic and ridiculous. The arena scene Attack of the Clones is ridiculous. Borg Gullet is ridiculous, but I love all of it. Like you are in a world where you could probably just put, well, we've already seen one interrogation with like a little droid, but like, you know, I think there's got to be machines for this. But why use a machine when you can have a creepy, gross tentacle monster do it for you? Like, it's so much better. Like, that, why? So much better. I love all of that. Do you think the comics and Star Wars is like in any way influenced your outlook on life in general? Because, and I want you to talk a little bit about your mission statement with Broaxium. So we'll take this question and go into Broaxium a bit, because I love what you talk about. I love that you're humble enough to not mention your mission statement all that often, but I hear you talk about it in other podcasts, and I really want you to share it with the people that listen to us about why you started a podcast, all of it, because I think it's really amazing, and I appreciate it a lot every time I hear you talk about it.
Okay. You talking about no drama, no hate, no clickbait?
That and representation and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely,
all of it, like all of it. It's just so great.
So when I guess when Star Wars YouTube really started to kick off around the time that the sequel trilogy got announced and whatnot, like, back then, and I don't want to put a bunch of people on blast, but there were some channels out there that I thought were like, y'all are sending the wrong message out here to these fans. Like I think overly hypercritical, just like it's clickbait messaging. Really, there are a few out there. Some are gone now, thankfully. But then, and that was just the thing. Like there's no need for all the drama. All that does is it just ruins the discourse as far as the fandom goes online, and and it makes it so it's just so splintered, and I just hated that. It almost made me step away from the fandom, and I was like, I think I'm done. I'm like, it's far not with Star Wars, but just with the fandom and trying to interact with the fandom. And then I met I stumbled upon a group called the Alliance of Star Wars Fanatics. And this was like a fully positive Star Wars group, absolutely, and still is. And I was like, okay, I think I'm back. I think I'm back with this. And there was one YouTube channel out there, well, two, because Star Wars Explained, Alex and Molly, I love those guys, and they do a fantastic job. Mm-hmm. There was another Star Wars, there was another YouTube channel that talked about Star Wars stuff, but it was Star Wars stuff that I wanted to see, because when the sequels first came out, everyone talked about Rey and how fantastic her story is and how mysterious the character is and all the potential. And I'm like, what about Finn? No one talks about Finn. It's just like, oh, he's a janitor. He's nothing. I'm like, that character is so important. That is a stormtrooper. We finally get it. At the first time live action, we have a stormtrooper taking that helmet off. That isn't Han or Luke, in disguise. Mm-hmm. And this character defected, broke his indoctrination, and left the First Order. And that's another character who's how was he able to do that? Is he Force sensitive? Which we find out, they sparsely went over that. But is he Force sensitive? Who are his parents? Like, where was he taken from? These are the same questions people ask about Rey, but they don't ask about Finn. And my man Prince Bell over at Urban Acolyte, he was the only person who was doing any Finn videos and all that kind of stuff back then. That helped keep me in the fandom, because I just felt like, he even said the name Collider and all them were just talking about, all they talked about was Rey, this, Rey that. Oh, she's fantastic to me. And it just, like, oh, well, Finn, he got, slicing his back by Kylo Ren. Who cares? Who cares about him? He's a janitor. that really that really pissed me off, because that seemed to be like the the running thing as far as Finn goes with like a lot of these channels back then. And Prince was the only one who was talking about Finn, and I just feel like we're not represented enough out there. Finn, I'm sorry, and Prince was doing the work and keeping Finn in people's minds. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about, because I like, we finally get a main character in a main black character in Star Wars, not a secondary or tertiary character like Lando or Mace or anything like that. And I still feel like he wasn't. He got done a little dirty. Finn got done a little dirty in that trilogy. Like, I was hoping for so much more for him. Like, I still wanted some Starbro adventures with him and Poe. Like, liberating a bunch of stormtroopers from the First Order to help out the Resistance. That would have been great. But they focused on Rey, which is it's fine. She's a fantastic character. I don't hate the character at all. It's just Finn is just as important and just as intriguing of a character, compelling of a character, that I thought he deserves some shine. So hopefully they'll learn. They'll learn from this going forward, and maybe give him a Disney Plus series or something.
Yep. I'm with you. I found him personally after The Force Awakens to be the more interesting character for me for every single one of those reasons you just laid out. And I agree with you, because of the way he was done later, it's more difficult to have bigger conversations because there isn't as much to pull from anymore. And it's really unfortunate, like it's really unfortunate. And, I know we focus a lot more on our channel about Finn Poe and that horrible mess of introducing a homophobic character just to guarantee they're not together, even though like it is so odd. Like, there could have been so many interesting things to talk about. And both Finn and Poe unfortunately got pushed to the sides and didn't really get a lot. And then when they were given certain things, you're like, really, that's where you decided to go with it? We all know Finn was Force sensitive. But the way it was written in the story could have been, but I also really like you, Rey. Like, they couldn't have just given him his moment. It still had to be centered on her somehow. And it was really frustrating. That is just beyond frustrating. And it's one of the things that, like, I appreciate with you, because with no drama, no hate, no clickbait, none of you are afraid to say what problems are either. We get this idea when we celebrate positivity in fandom, and then unfortunately there's another side of Star Wars Twitter sometimes that then comes at you of being toxically positive, which
I'm still gonna wrap my head around that one.
I mean, like, I kind of think I know what they're trying to do. They just need to rebrand it, because it's not a good look to say that to someone. It's just not a good look. So rebrand it, and also realize that just because you have a Star Wars Twitter or a YouTube channel or a podcast, you don't have to point out every single thing. If that's what you want to do on yours, hey, good for you. I think that's fantastic. But if you just want to focus on the escapism part of it, I think that's totally fine too. I don't think anyone has the right to put a moral obligation on somebody else. I really just don't. Now, maybe when you start getting massive followings, I can understand different pressure there, but at the same time, I'm not a big fan of people telling people how to run their shows. Just don't listen. But I appreciate that you bring these things up, and we can talk about it and still love Star Wars. It doesn't have to be because X character wasn't treated well. This didn't happen the right way. This is how I would have liked to have seen it. Doesn't take down all of Star Wars, because overall, the message of Star Wars, for me at least, outweighs everything else. And the message of Star Wars, and I guess I should say my idea of what it's trying to do, it will get there eventually. Do I wish it got there quicker? Of course I do. We all do. But I know it's going to get there. I have hope. I have faith, that it's going to get there. And I think for me, things like Visions are a really good step in that right direction for that. I think I love hearing the conversations of John Boyega coming back for a Disney Plus series, because it just needs to happen. I mean, there's so much interesting things.
That really needs to happen.
It does. And I really want a Rose and Jana Disney Plus show, because not that they did anything together in the movie, but those two on their marketing campaigns together were like the greatest little duo ever in the entire world. And I just need that on screen because how great would it be?
That's like Rise of Skywalker. Like, it may have, ended the Skywalker saga, but there are so many things in there that I'm like, as I was watching for the first time, we're all like Dan and I and a bunch of our friends from the Alliance of Star Wars Fanatics. We're all together watching this in Boston, and I'm like, oh, there's a comic book series. I can see that happening. I can see that being a thing. Okay, like, because you have Lando and Jannah. They had they're talking like trying to find her origins. And Lando's trying to find his daughter, which is something they didn't mention in the movie at all, but that's something from the from I think he was in the adaptation. I think it was in the book. Yeah. That could be something that I'm like, there's a Disney Plus series. And then they announced, the Lando series. I'm like, oh, please make that a thing. Like maybe it's, him and Jannah, and they're trying to find out, his daughter and her origins. And then we hear a bunch of stories from Lando from back in the day, and then you bring in Donald Glover or something like that for that.
Yep.
I would hope that that's something they do. Finn finding out more about the Force. Now, for me, I don't want him to be a Jedi. He doesn't have to be a Jedi. I'm not a huge Jedi person, but it's just I don't know how to say it. I'm not a religious person. I just just that whole. I don't. If you have the Force or whatnot, I don't think being a Jedi is the end all be all for anyone to I want to see someone be open, just open with their Force abilities and not have any restrictions or anything like that, and bound to a particular belief system around that Force. I want that to be a part of the, I want to see what he can do with it, and just have him just have these abilities and use them in his own way without having to subscribe to any particular doctrine or anything like that. So, yeah,
it's so interesting. Like I was not involved in the fandom really until this podcast. It was always just my thing. I've talked about that a lot. I had a buddy that we collected toys together for a while, but once that kind of stopped, like I just I didn't really have much. And I was watching all the same things you did, some of them started off great, and then they just, I guess now that I'm in the space a little more, the negative stuff gets more attention. So they just start going down there. It was just like, it pushed me out of it. I was like, I'm not interested in just bashing on it's just not interesting to me. Like, again, like we were just saying, point out the problems, but do it in a way from building the thing you love, not to take it down. And I feel like people want the hearts and the likes and the clicks from Star Wars, but they want to tear it down. And it's just it's just really frustrating. But I had never really heard anyone else having problems with the Jedi. And for me, I've always stood by, I think the reason back in the day that people didn't like the prequels were because we were presented with Jedi that were problematic. And it was so contradictory to everything that every one of us believed the Jedi were going to be.
Yeah.
But it's what made it really interesting. And there are these people who still sit on the idea of the Jedi are so great and they want them to be great. But as the longer I'm doing this, I feel like it is a certain person that loves the Jedi. And it's a group of people that are not typically held down by anybody else or having ideas who they should be put on them from an outside thing. And those people love the Jedi. But for some of us who have an outside world dictating who we should be and how to behave, and if you don't do this, then you are wrong. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. The more I see things from the Sith point of view, I'm like, oh wow, yeah, like I don't even think I'm pretty sure like Palpatine would have converted me like that, like he'd have been like he would have had me, but
well, let's not go to that far. We don't need to go all the way over there.
I just remember like after watching Phantom Menace and seeing how they treated Anakin, and maybe even into the Attack of the Clones with how. Was it how Mace looked at Anakin? Or I was like, just the way that they are. I'm like, you guys kind of had it coming. Like I said, I'm like, yeah, your downfall and what happened. Yeah, you had that coming.
Yep.
That's been my mindset for a while with them.
The Phantom Menace. So I was adopted by my father. So I've always had I've related to Star Wars very much in that way. And where I came from is not a good spot. So I always related to Luke Skywalker having an evil father. Like I've related to that fear that is baked in you that you might turn into that. That scene that scene in the tree cave where you see yourself in the worst possible version, strikes very close to home, right? And then the prequels came out, and Phantom Menace came out in 1999, right? Yep. Mm-hmm. And so I was 20, and I was just really starting to deal with being a little gay guy and figuring all that out. And the way that Anakin was treated for missing the people that he lost. I had already lost a bunch of people. And then for people telling me that it was because I was wrong or it was my fault that everyone was leaving, I related so much to the Jedi, focusing all of that on Anakin was Anakin's fault for all of these things.
Yeah.
And it was just
nine.
I mean, I had to go through it too. I was like, Yoda is messed up. And I who doesn't love Yoda? But I'm like, oh, this dude's messed up. And it's never really gone away until Ahsoka. And Ahsoka starts to bring it all back. And that episode with the Martez sisters is so incredibly good. Oh, and those two characters taught Ahsoka in a handful of days every lesson that she didn't learn from the Jedi in her whole probably close to 15 years being with them. Her whole growing up changed on a dime because she was left broken and wandering alone, and then comes in two people who show her another way. And I'm with you. I am I'm not a fan of the Jedi. I understand take off living in Star Wars land. We can't lose the Jedi. That is way too marketable. Everyone knows when Rise of Skywalker, we're going to lose it and they're all going to be called Skywalkers. No, they're not. They're going to be called the Jedi because that's what the entire world knows. So let's redefine what the Jedi can be.
Yeah, I was hoping with Rise of Skywalker, I'm like, oh, okay, so Rey is going to, make her own sect of Jedi, of Force users and call them Skywalkers. I was like, good, get rid of the Jedi. They had the time, they messed up, So that's what I was hoping for.
The Night Sisters. That's the Night Sisters for me. When I saw Mother Talzin, and I'm a hippy dippy myself. I oftentimes joke around. Also kind of serious that thank God I'm gay because I'm also a little bit vain and I am that stereotypical gay who's got to kind of look cute. And if I wasn't, I could be the hippie with the really long hair and no shade on those people either. But I would be rocking the patchouli. I would be unshaved. I could go days without bathing, all of those things. And my Birkenstocks, I could totally easily be me if I was straight. Straight up. But when I met the Night Sisters and they're using nature and connecting with the planet all around them, and that's how they interpret the Force, I was like, holy cow, I just found my Force people. That is how I would interpret it. And that's probably how I interpret it in my life because it is very much, to me, the Force is a very real thing, and that's how I look at spirituality through that lens. I really Star Wars has done that for me, and it's great. It's wonderful and beautiful.
That's why I loved Rian Johnson's interpretation of the Force when he, through Last Jedi, when he's I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, the Jedi don't have a copyright on the Force. They are not the end all be all. To say that is that is arrogant to say that that they have this. This cornerstone on the Force and everything, and they don't. And I love that. I love that. That's why I'm all about seeing, give me Force users that aren't bound to any religion or thought process or anything like that, and they're just using the Force, like Broom Kid. You just let me grab that real quick, and just do some sweeping. Give me that.
That was such a freeing. I loved that moment. Because it was such a true life childlike thing. I have these abilities. No one's told me what to do with them. So I'm going to grab the broom. I'm going to grab my Legos. I'm just do whatever because I don't have to move. And it was wow.
Right.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question. Since we've been dancing around the Rise of Skywalker a little bit, I am not the biggest fan of the movie. I really want to.
I've heard.
I love what it, so many parts of it, right? But I was trying to watch it again the other day, and I was watching some YouTube videos like that came out right when it came out, before we all decided to, like, as I'm here dogging and saying to start dogging on it to get clicks or whatever, right? But I'm like, something dawned on me when I was watching these things. I'm like, if I was not on Twitter, if I did not have a podcast, would I feel differently about The Rise of Skywalker? How much is this stuff influencing my views on it? And I want to ask this of you, like, is this age of YouTube and podcasts shaping the way we look at things, if that makes sense? Like, we are almost introduced to too many hot takes before we've had time to, like, let it sit on ourselves. If this came out in 1984, would I feel this way? Because it's really over the top and bombastic. To circle back to what we were talking about at the beginning, when we first started, it's one of the things we're into, the craziness. And this is really crazy. So,
for me, it doesn't. I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to find a way. I'll enjoy it. Like, that's just me. I'll enjoy anything. But while I'm watching, I mean, when I was watching The Last Jedi, the Canto Bight stuff, I dug it. I know why it was there. It needed to be there for the story. It had to be there for Finn. While I'm watching that scene, and then riding on the what are they called?
Oh, the Fathers.
The Fathers. And I was just like, oh, I can see the YouTube channel. Like, I know so many people are going to be complaining about this. So, like, I could that, like that. I was just like, oh, I can see that's going to be a problem. Oh, that's going to be a problem. Like, it's not going to be a problem for me.
Yeah.
I just know that I'm going to see that online, like, immediately after this movie's out. And sure enough, boom,
there it was.
There it was.
That scene isn't talked about enough for Rose either, because I think Rose needed that to remember why she was in the fight, and not just for her sister, not just for the selfish purpose of I'm going to have revenge for my sister. She needed to remember why she was doing it too. Yeah. And then unfortunately she had to study maps. So we didn't get to see anything. But I'm with you. Like, I might dog on The Rise of Skywalker, but it's still Star Wars, and Star Wars is the greatest thing of all time. So for me, even the bottom Star Wars is still better than every other movie out there. Like, I'm going to get there. Anyways, it is what it is. I'm going to get there. Because I love The Last Jedi. I think The Last Jedi was great. I love The Force Awakens. They were both really, really great. And I don't know. It is what it is.
Maybe I think even while watching that, like, and I don't like to go into movies like some people do with and I always say there's like a mental checklist and whatnot, where they're like, they got their clipboard and they're like, did they do this? Did they do that? What about this? While you're watching, I can't do that. Like, I need to zone in and just watch it for what it is. And then maybe I'll do a little clipboard thing afterwards. I do think that in Rise of Skywalker, they tried to please as many people as possible. The Finn stuff I was happy with, but I was like, yeah, y'all trying to play catch up right now with that, because y'all know you made a mistake, as far as Finn goes. They still, to me, didn't handle that. I don't like bashing on it, but still with the whole, oh, Ray, I have to tell you something, and then it never happens, and it's never said, and it's never addressed outside of him having to say that, and then him feeling when she died, and that sort of thing. I'm like, that's not enough. You like in Force Awakens, I'm like, the same thing happened. He felt the calamity in Hazian Prime before anyone else. I was in the theater like, oh, I knew it. And then nothing came of it. Yeah.
I think that if we get 10, 11, 12, which I feel like we do, because I feel like there is way too much left unsaid in The Rise of Skywalker, that they know they're going to give us 10, 11, 12. And then maybe we'll feel differently. But to say that it's done on all those, I don't know. That's
I mean, Skywalker stuff, yeah. Like you know, I don't know if they're going to do any more of the episodes if the Skywalker thing is done. But you know, since the whole Disney Plus thing and all these series, and where you could deep dive into all these different aspects of the universe, I'm like, maybe I don't even need the movies anymore, because you know you can't focus enough on things, and then people are going to get pissed off when some things aren't addressed the way they should be. But in a show, you can address all that stuff. You know, you have like 40 minutes of 8 episodes or 10 episodes to really, you know, deep dive into that stuff.
I mean, I'm with you. I think like The Mandalorian is really way better than I thought it was ever going to be.
Absolutely.
But it's so good. Like it's really, really, really great. And then, like I said, I think Visions is firing on all cylinders. I think, I feel like they've got it now. I feel like they learned a lot with the sequel trilogy, which still, again, it's great. I love it. I love all those characters are so good. Like Kylo Ren is amazing. Finn is amazing. Rose, amazing. Rey's great. I feel like if anything, Rey's the one who had her story done. I'm like, I'm good. I loved that character, but you got your story. I want to see some of these other people that didn't get theirs. And if you can come back in at some point, fantastic. But she got her story. Ben got his story. Like, let me have these other stories that people didn't get. I'm with you. And I think Disney Plus is where to go with that for sure. Where do you see the future of Star Wars going, and what do you want it to be? Disney Plus?
Yeah, you know what? I'm fine with shows. I'm fine with the you know, the weekly shows, or give it to me all at once. I don't care. Just give it to me. But yeah, you know, I mean, give the movie every once in a while. And I'll tell you this, even actually, you can give me a theatrical release every week, and I'm good. To tell you the truth, as long as it's a cool Star Wars story, I'm down. The future of Star Wars. My whole thing is like, I have no set agenda outside of give Finn some more shine. That's like that. That's you know, and you know, some maybe, you know, a black main character, black male, black female character. That's just things that I've been wanting to see. You know, as a, you know, since I was a kid, playing with my action figures and making Lando the you know, the top guy.
Yep.
But I just keep making, you know, as long as they keep making, you know, just fantastic content, you know, for Star Wars, man, I'm good. I'm good. There's really no set thing for me that I you know, outside of what I just said. You know, there's nothing else that I'm really looking for. I just want some Star Wars. I just want some good Star Wars.
Yep.
You know,
I think this breaky break is going to do it very, very well. Like, I think I remember when this was all announced, we're like, oh my God, we're gonna get like 2 or 3 Star Wars movies a year. This is gonna be so fantastic. I'm like, I want to say that I want it, but I also like, for me, like, my one qualm with Visions is that we got all of them at one time. And and it's very selfish. Like, I recognize this, and they're not making Star Wars for me, but I need to gestate on it for a while. Like, I feel like the Last Jedi, I didn't even understand all of it yet. Like, it wasn't like a part of me yet. And then I got The Rise of Skywalker. And so it was like, I was really jolted, and The Rise of Skywalker is full of jolts, which is probably going to be really great. Cause I love Return of the Jedi and I love Attack of the Clones. They're my favorite Star Wars movies. And those are both the ones that are kind of the most all over the place, and lots of different stories going on in one thing, which is what The Rise of Skywalker is. So maybe one day, wouldn't that be crazy if it becomes one of my favorite movies? It'll happen.
Yeah, just gotta let it. Yeah, just let it ride the wave. You'll see that.
But I think that's what I'm loving about, like, The Mandalorian in particular. And I can't wait for all these other Disney Plus stories to come out. Like, I can't wait. It's what I loved about the Clone Wars, is they give you enough to start to munch on. And like, Din Djarin has become one of my favorite characters of all time. And I think it's because you got these little moments with him, right? And you're like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And you get a little more every week, and you get a little more every week. And then by the time a season's over, I've had time to ponder all of the little moments. And now I can reflect on the big moment. And then I can take that big moment into the next season. And then, honestly, thank God there's a long break before season 3 of Mando, because we've got a lot to ponder. Like I gotta selfishly start to like Luke Skywalker again, because still mad at my boy for taking that little baby away from his daddy. But that's what the breaks in between the movies always did. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It gave you time to really know those movies and know those characters, and then go, okay, I got it now.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready for another one.
Absolutely.
You know?
I remember Favreau and Filoni said at the beginning, I think before season 1 came out, that this is going to be like a Game of Thrones kind of series for Mandalorian. And first 2 seasons have not been at all. But it will be now, with the whole hierarchy of Mandalore and the Darksaber and everything. And I'm like, okay, here we go. I am so ready. I'm so ready for that.
See, I love that you said that. Like, at the end of season 1, when that Darksaber came out, I was like losing my collective. I respect all the people that don't want everything intertwined. I get it. I tend to want it all, like in some way, like get it connected. It's a soap opera. That's what they all do. Like the evil twin brother comes out of nowhere 10 years later, and you're like, oh. But when that Darksaber came, I'm like, oh, this business just got messy. Yeah, and it's going to be so good. And then season 2, you're like, oh, I was expecting all the stuff and I didn't get any of it. But now you gave me Bo-Katan, because that girl just made it way messier. And I like with people like Tom, who doesn't know everything. I'm like, oh, dude, you have no idea. This girl is complicated. One minute you love her, and the next minute you're like off with her head, but then you also love her again. And she's like a really complex character, and Din Djarin is about to find and he's about to find himself. And then no one knew Luke Skywalker was coming. Now we've got this going. I'm like, oh my god, like this just got Din's got a, and boy, don't know what he's doing half the time. He's just kind of stumbling his way through, and he's gonna have to like not stumble anymore, and he's gonna have to start. Oh god, and it's gonna be. I'm so excited. So good.
And this series did something for me as far as Boba Fett goes. As a kid, I'm like, oh wow, he looks so cool. That's as far as my fandom for Boba Fett went. Is he looks cool, and that's as far as like a lot of people's fandom went. But they Batman, like the fandom Batman him, where it's like, oh, he can beat everyone, he can do this, he can do that, blah 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 blah. But I'm like, we don't really, outside of like some of those the books from the expanded universe and stuff. Which wasn't official, whatever. But I'm like, they made him Batman Wolverine. I'm like, okay, cool. But what they've done with Fett, and like I said, I was never a Fett stan. Outside of his armor was really cool. Now I am a Fett stan because what they've done with this character, including what they did with him in the Clone Wars, and putting that with what they're doing in what they did with Mandalorian, and what they're whatever they're going to do with Book of Boba Fett. I can't wait to see more of this character, what they do, and of course in the comics what they're doing with the War of the Bounty Hunters, we see more of his character. It's so good. It's so good, and I can't wait to see what they do with him next.
I agree. I mean, I love Boba Fett because I'm. But again, it went to his armor's rad. I was like, he's not the coolest character in all of Star Wars, but I buy a lot of Boba Fett stuff because it's cool looking. But I'm with you.
Yeah,
but I think
I see your
right there. Yeah. And that's why when Mandalorian came out, like, and I was never even like huge on the Mandalore stuff in Clone Wars. Like Bo-Katan was great. Satine I've learned to appreciate later, but Bo-Katan is where it was at. And the Darksaber's rad. But then I was like, oh God, we're getting a Mandalorian. Like that's going to be my first live action thing. I was like, oh, okay. I'm going to love it. But I was not what I would have asked for when I got it. And then what happened? one of my favorite things in all of Star Wars. And that's what I'm looking forward to, the Book of Boba Fett, because I think they're going to give interest to Batman and Wolverine that we haven't had yet, because they're going to give them what they want. I mean, we got it when he's like bashing all those people, and we got this ruthlessness, but we're going to get why. Just even the one mention of him in Bad Batch and connecting him to Omega was like amazing. And to realize that like, there was more to this plan possibly than just Jango Fett wanting a son to raise on his own. Like it's so cool. So give me the ruthlessness, because it's going to be fun action to watch, but then give me that, I'm like, I love it. I love it.
And the one thing, if we can go back on the canon for a second, and I know some people are like, I hate that word, and canon isn't important. I'm like I get that, but like to me, it very much is, and I love canon. Like I give me Star Wars, and I'm good with it. But I very much love canon because just thinking how other characters interact with characters that we know, like take Din interacting with Ahsoka, and I'm like, Din has no idea who he's talking to. This person fought in the Clone Wars. This person fought Maul, fought Vader. This person, did so much, during the Clone Wars and post and everything. And like, it's just so cool that there's a character with that much history talking to this new character, and it helps to really round things out. And I know for people who may not know who she is, they're like, oh, she's a cool character. But I'm like, now go back and see what she's done. It brings so much more impact to everything that she's doing and why she is the way she is in Mandalorian. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I literally has never dawned on me until you just said this thing just now. And it's really obvious, and it should have. But like, Ahsoka, Luke Skywalker, and Din Djarin are my favorite characters. They are my holy trinity. Like I feel very strong feelings for all of these. I'm like, holy crap, they were in one season together. Never even put that together until just now. I was like, and they're all going to collide. There's no way these three people are not going to collide in some sort of way. And I'm like, like that Ahsoka episode was so good. Like Din, like you said, he has no idea who she's speaking to. She's the reason, one, Mandalore was free and you had people raising you. Otherwise, it would not have been there. Right. She is the reason that Grogu, your son, made it out alive. We don't know that technically, but like, let's be like, she is part of all this revolutionary stuff. The whole reason the galaxy is free, she helped build your rebellion that ended that business. Like, she is so everything you have, Din, is because of her. In some way, shape, or form, she was part of that freedom fighter that gave you the life ahead of you. And they're so good to not even give you that. Like, they did not give you that. You got to go find it out, or there's going to be more to tell. Like, Star Wars is so good at giving you just sprinkles. That's been some of the stuff like online that's hard for me, like the Snoke stuff. Snoke is rad. I think Snoke is awesome to this day. Stand by every single thing that happened. No, he was not killed too quickly, because all of us jumped up for joy when that dude was chopped in half. So Rian Johnson nailed it out of the park to create this villain you hated in like 2 minutes. You're like, this dude's got to go.
But when people put on like who's Snoke and why is it this? I'm like, he's never been on any of the posters. He is not the be all end all. And so I'm like, people put so much stock into that character, and I like the character and all that stuff. It's just that, like when Ben killed him, I was in the theater like, ha ha ha. Literally, I was just like it just showed like how important and not important almost he was. Like, he was expendable, but people put such stock into him because like, oh, he's mysterious, we don't know who he is. I'm like he's no one. It's Kylo Ren who is the focal evil, the evil focal point and whatnot, or misunderstood focal point.
And then the fact that in The Rise of Skywalker we get that weird out of nowhere line of "I made Snoke." Also made him so great because like the poor dude was just, all of you gave this character way too much stock for so long, and he was just a pawn for Palpatine. So he also made the entire galaxy fear this thing that was nothing. Like, how does that not, one, make him like, oh, you feel kind of bad for him? And it also made Palpatine, rad all over again. You're like, Jesus Christ, this dude's got it all. Like it's so good.
Like, Palps, you know, like I said, all the time, like Palps, he played the galaxy like a Sega Genesis. Like he and he's like, I call him Johnny Long Game as well, because he just, you know, he had a plan. He had contingencies for contingencies, and then he ran the galaxy. He ran the galaxy and pulled the wool over everyone's eyes.
You know, bring him back again. I don't care, because he's that good. Like, bring him back again, and I'll be here for it every single time. I don't know. Doesn't need to be dead. Nope. Bring him back. Figure it out. He sent his thing off to Century Droids once before. There's got to be other Century Droids out there somewhere.
Yeah, there's another planet called Nexagol. And that's where, like, you know, the other ones at. That's where the more copy clones are at.
And the ships are there for the ultimate final order.
Yep, and more ships under the ice. The final order is that one. Yeah.
See, here we are.
This is the really final order. That's the name of the next
100%. This is why I love Star Wars. See, The Rise of Skywalker is my least favorite, but I spend more time talking about how great it is than I ever really do how bad it is. I feel like, because then I get excited. I'm like, oh no, see, here it is. It's really great. It's all there. Why can't I find it all the time? Because it's great. And now I'm talking to you. You know what I'm going to do when this is done? Go watch me some Rise of Skywalker. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go, oh my God, give me some growy hands with zombie palps and give it to me quickly. And Zori, I'm going to figure out a way. It's not your fault, girl. Not your fault you're stuck in there to break two boys who clearly love each other up. I'm going to figure out a way to like you again. No, thank you so much for this. This was really, really, really fantastic. I appreciate it. Where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook under the super cool catchy name Chris Ryons. That's where it's at. And then of course you can find me on Broaxium under all those, Instagram and Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and come check us out.
Love it. And everyone listening, if you do not follow any of these things yet, please do, because as Chris tried to say at the beginning of this, and he's a very humble dude, he's like amazing and one of my favorite voices in all of this space. I think you do some really honestly, like, great things, and you're just a whole lot of fun, and you're a reminder. You're like a super hardcore Star Wars fan that knows your stuff as much as anybody else does, but you still have a lot of fun with it and realize that it's just an escape and it's the greatest thing. And that is so important. And it's lost with sometimes serious conversations, sometimes too much negativity, sometimes too much putting on a show, which we all have to do, but you always bring it back to the fun and joy of Star Wars. And for me, like, you are one of those people that are like the antithesis of what Star Wars is. And it's just, I think you're a really, really special person. So keep doing what you're doing. And if you're not following him, do it, because he will put a smile on your face. So until next time, my friend, thank you very, very, very much. And we will talk to you soon.
And we're back. We're back. We're back, everybody. Welcome back.
That's
pretty stupid.
No, I think it's great.
Okay, welcome back, everyone.
Not usually you.
It's late. I don't know what else to say.
Well, everyone, thank you for listening to my wonderful conversation with Chris from Broaxium. I had a really great time. Thomas, you were not there. Are you going to listen to it later, though?
You know, I will. I definitely will.
Fantastic. Real quick heads up. Tom is a very, very busy boy. He's making my money. He's... If you've been listening
selling those homes.
If you've listened for a long time, you know there's been a few episodes where I sometimes like to dress up like Demi Moore and roll around in money on the bed. So I have to send Tom out to make the money so he can throw it on the bed and I can roll around in it.
And that's why I'm not here, because I'm so tired, because he makes me go out and work every day.
Yeah. Again, if you've listened to this podcast for a long time, you'll know I worked real hard for this tungsten ring sitting on my finger.
So oh my God. If you're interested in buying a house in Phoenix, Arizona, Give me a call.
So real quick, side story. No, it's the end of the show, but whatevs. You don't have to listen if you want to, but you should. There are two moms on the boys' soccer team, right? Tom is connected. They've bonded. We're all just a bunch of gays on the soccer field. Anyways, you were not there on Thursday night's practice.
No.
I was. And forgive me, I don't remember their names, but...
Well, we won't say them out loud anyway.
Okay. The blonde was kind of making fun of her. Not making fun of. She has a temporary ring because she is still paying off her other wedding ring. They'll be done soon. She hasn't seen it, but she knows how much it costs. So in the meantime, she's stuck with a tungsten ring.
And you're like, oh, that's all I got is a tungsten ring.
I'm like, I said to her, I'm like, you mean tungsten?
Oh, you did?
Well, not necessarily that voice, but I was like, well, Tom and I like to say, we have tungsten rings, is what I told her. Because I'm like, that's what we have, and we love it. Also,
we didn't know any better. We went in and we're like, that one looks real nice.
Buy one.
It's on sale? Even better.
Buy one, get one half off. You know, if we were in a new relationship...
You would never know. I don't even know what tungsten is.
Oh, is it tungsten?
Other than
I
the
don't
fact
know.
that you can't resize it, apparently. So
It's too cheap to resize. Perfect. If there are any gay men listening that are not married yet, soon to be married, will be married at some point. Actually, I know a few of you are because I know your stories.
get the tungsten.
Get the tungsten that cannot be resized. Therefore, it's always motivation to never put on any additional weight.
It doesn't scratch,
You know,
which is, important.
I have maintained my twink status because of this year tungsten ring.
I had an injury at one point in time, so for half a year I didn't even wear it. And that's how I learned that you can't resize it. So.
And then Lady Gaga wrote a song about it called I'm a Free Woman! I'm a Free Woman! And that's what Tom did everywhere he went because he didn't have a ring on it, so he was pretending like he was free.
That's exactly it, babe. You got me. You got me.
Thank you very much for listening. The rest of this month, it's all guest spots. So you'll hear Tom at the beginning and the front. And so, we all want more Tom, but at least you get him a little bit, right? You get to be sandwiched by Tom.
There you go.
So
You're welcome.
I can tell you, being sandwiched by Tom is a really great place to be.
Oh, it's time to wrap this up, babe.
Take that out?
No, keep it in.
Like, for real?
Yeah, keep it in. Look how I started. I'm delirious over
Matt
here.
did tell me the other night on Blue Bantha Milk. I'm sorry. I keep saying it's almost over, and it really is almost over. But Matt on the last
feel like it's going to end soon.
the last podcast at the end of the stream, he told me, he said, Bryan, you have a knack for finding one thing just about every live stream that you keep going back to, and you somehow make it about sex every single time. I'm like,
Welcome to my world.
part of the magic that is me.
And magical
And
is.
if you enjoy this magic, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Leave us a magical review on Apple Podcasts. That would be fantastic. If you are not a part of the YouTube community, if you're not a Steam Queen, if haven't spent any time in the Steam room, head on over to YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification. All the things you're supposed to do. Hit like buttons on everything you've listened to because we're trying to grow over there. Until next time, Thomas, are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's time to drink up.
Drink up.